Hi, I'm Carolyn Stevenson. I'm the owner and sales director of the Event Magazine publishing company. Our hearts go out to all those who are suffering during this crisis. We wanted to take action to help individuals and businesses in our community in a safe way. This interview series will introduce you to the companies that partner with us to highlight so many nonprofits in the area. I would like to introduce you to my dear friend, Dr. Hayley DeGraaff. She's the owner of Advanced Life Clinic as well as Advanced Life Care. Advanced Life Clinic is one of the region's most foremost destinations for patients interested in a whole body approach to looking and feeling younger. Now, Hayley, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good, Carolyn.
Good,
Thanks for
good.
doing that. I really appreciate it. It's a great idea.
Well, thank you, thank you. I'm enjoying this. I really am, and it's great to hear everybody's story. Could you tell me a little bit more about your business?
So we've actually been in business. We just celebrated our 15th anniversary back in November.
Congratulations,
So
congratulations.
thank you. Appreciate it. It's been a long road. We've grown tremendously over 15 years. Originally, I started my practice at a smaller location. I had maybe 2 employees, and we focused primarily at that time on non-invasive cosmetic procedures, which is called aesthetics. And aesthetics, starting out, was all I really did. And aesthetics can be anything from an injection procedure, filler, Botox, lasers, spider vein treatments. But that's how we started out. I had no idea what I was doing business-wise, but we grew and learned together. I had a great staff, and after that, we decided that we wanted to branch in. My background is a medical background. I did my residency in family practice, so I wanted to bring in things that help people in an anti-aging wellness sense in a more medical way, other than just procedures. So the second thing we added in was what we call medically supervised weight loss, which is having patients have access to pharmaceuticals, prescriptions that aren't available in something like a Weight Watchers or Jenny Craig or something like that. So medically supervised, you're going to have prescription medications, super B12 or lipo B12 injections that you actually get at your doctor's office, medical supervision in regards to blood pressure and things like that. And then after that, we added bioidentical hormone replacement. Huge demand for that. Obviously, if you are hormonally balanced, you age better, your skin looks better, you function better, you have better energy, vitality. So that obviously goes along with everything else we do. And then just recently, within the last year, we've added 2 new things. We've added a primary care clinic. Once again, having a background in family practice, a lot of my patients would come to see me for hormone replacement and medically supervised weight loss, and they don't have a primary care doctor. So we've sort of filled that gap for them and plugged that hole for some of my patients. So we're slowly, over the years, bringing everything under roof in one-stop shop, so to speak, so that my patients can go from primary care to hormones to our weight loss programs to our aesthetic program. So, and then the very last thing we just added, and it's still in the works as we speak, is medical dermatology. So I've actually hired a PA, a physician's assistant, who has 18 years of experience in medical dermatology. So now, because that's another thing, we would get a lot of requests. Oh, I have this weird looking mole. Can you biopsy that for me? And prior to having this PA on board with us, I would send that out. So that's one more thing that we've brought under roof that we can take care of for our patients without having to send them somewhere else. So just continue to grow, and it's been a 15-year process, and we are continuing to grow.
Right. Going back to the dermatology aspect too, I just,
Yes.
how that has affected me and how you truly saved my life. Just simply by taking me seriously and taking the time and sending me to the dermatologist. What was that? Goodness, was that that was 10 years ago.
I was like Cecil Ashburn in my first location. So that we've been here 8 or 9 years now. So yeah, it's you probably wouldn't be here with us today had that not gone diagnosed. So
true. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart, because that is scary. I had I had had it seen a couple times prior to that. It wasn't really taken seriously. You were the first one to truly take the time and make me a priority, and I appreciate you for that. And
So
it's
now we
great.
can actually, if I see something when I'm doing, say, I'm looking at someone's legs for spider vein treatments, if I see something suspicious, I can just go get my PA, we can get our equipment out and do a biopsy right there on the spot.
Right.
So everything is just kind of all works together.
Right. There is typically a wait time of what, 3 to 4 months, maybe even longer to
Correct.
get an appointment.
Correct. So when we open this up, and we're hoping to, when we can reopen with the corona pandemic, we hope to be able to have this ready to go. The lag has been insurance. Prior to
Okay.
this dermatology aspect of the practice, we did not bill insurance. So getting in network with Blue Cross Blue Shield and Cigna and some of the other ones takes a while. So
Right.
we're hoping that those privileges and those being in network will coincide with when we're actually able to reopen. Hopefully May. We're hoping May.
I hope so too.
After the restrictions have been lifted.
Right.
We can talk about that.
We could talk about that all day.
Oh, I know. Unfortunately.
Oh, so what exactly inspired you to start though? What was it that really inspired you to start your own business and to do this?
After residency, and I stayed on faculty at UAB here in Huntsville. University of Alabama, Birmingham has a branch campus in Huntsville. In coordination with Huntsville Hospital, they train medical students and residents in Huntsville. So I finished my residency at UAB Huntsville, here in Huntsville, and then I stayed on faculty. They needed someone to spearhead the geriatrics curriculum so that when the family practice and internal medicine residents left residency, they had their training in geriatrics.
Okay.
During the course of that, I went to some geriatric meetings. I started reading a lot of geriatric journals, and I got interested in better aging, how to age well. I joined some groups and organizations, and I started attending seminars and meetings on anti-aging medicine, basically. So it was really what got me interested at the beginning was the medical side of it. Of course, this was 15 years ago. Nobody had a clue what I was talking about. So to be able to open a clinic and make it a little more mainstream, I decided to start with anti-aging procedures, because most everybody 15 years ago knew what Botox was. No one knew what bioidentical hormones were, but at least they knew that. And so I actually started with the procedures and added the medical part in later. But my interest in it started in treating geriatric patients, reading geriatric journals, like how do we age better? How do we go into that time of our life with better health, better vitality, better function? Obviously we want to look better as well, but the initial interest was better aging.
Gotcha. Is there a story behind the name of your business?
Actually, it's been all over the place. So originally I wanted to have, advanced always sounds, modern and forward.
Such a positive word.
The original name of the clinic was Laser. So it was Advanced Laser Clinic. And it just was too restrictive because, it makes it sound, everybody thought we were like an eye clinic doing laser procedures on eyes. For some reason, I don't know why, we got a lot of calls about that. So we decided to broaden the name to encompass more of what we do. And I wanted people to have a better life. So and it kept the same initials. I know that kind of made sense for some of our abbreviations that we use. So we changed the word laser to life.
Wow.
And here we are.
And here you are. So do you have any funny stories you would like to tell us all about? Anything about the business that kind of puts a little smile on your face?
We definitely had our series of missteps and mistakes that we made along the way. I don't know if they would be funny. You could empathize with a new business owner, but we definitely had some stories that we could tell that I probably shouldn't at this
point. Okay. We'll get back to that at another time.
And let me think about it. I probably can come up with something.
You probably will be able to come up with something. It'll come to you. I'm going to shift gears now and discuss something that that's really on the forefront of the news today, which is COVID-19. And that's something, as a business owner myself, I'm always fascinated in hearing everyone's stories, and wanted to ask you, are there any special measures that you're putting in place for your business to continue right now, or are there ways that you're adjusting to deal with the current
So
situation with your
originally,
company?
this whole pandemic recommendation started back in March, the last week or two of March. We were put under CDC guidelines as far as social distancing, but we were still working. We up in the aesthetic clinic, we were still seeing Botox patients and filler patients. And at that point, we initiated the CDC guidelines. We opened up a suite across the hall that eventually is going to house our dermatology clinic, and we put chairs over there. So if our lobby got too crowded, we could move patients and have them sit over there.
Okay.
We had, our office manager went to Lowe's and bought canisters of disinfectant wipes and hand sanitizer and masks and everything we could get our hands on. And we started cleaning, much more than we hard surfaces and
Right.
than we were prior. We were clean obviously, but we went above and beyond with all the CDC recommended guidelines. So that went on for a couple of weeks. And then we all remember the day the governor actually put out the first health order, which was we could not do any non-essential medical procedures.
Okay.
So that essentially shut down the upstairs aesthetic clinic. So I'm kind of on both sides of the coin. 80% of my business is the aesthetic, which we can't operate. The other 20% is more medical related, the primary care clinic downstairs, which we haven't talked much about, but we can talk about. We're still seeing patients down there. We're actually doing COVID testing. So most people may not know, but my primary care clinic, one of the newer things that we opened is actually in a different suite for space reasons. We didn't have enough room. So we leased another space downstairs, and I have a nurse, I'm doing that in conjunction with my nurse practitioner, Carrie. So that has not ever been shut down. We're still seeing, patients with fever and a cough, and we've tested probably up to around 12 patients at this point. We've had no positives. Yay!
Thank goodness.
So my world is split right now. 80% of my practice is closed. 20% is still operating, and we are able to see patients that are in hormone therapies for continuing medical treatment. If you stop your hormone therapy abruptly and just cold turkey, it leads to a lot of misery and side effects. So we are seeing those patients. We're trying to do as much of that at telemedicine as we can, but some of our patients are on therapies that require that they be seen in the office. And some are, hormone therapy does require labs. So we have been drawing labs downstairs to keep our patients from having to go to a big lab facility where you may be sitting there with more people. So we're drawing labs, we're seeing our primary care patients, we're a pipeline, a lifeline for them actually, so that they don't end up in emergency rooms and urgent cares with coughs and colds. So I've definitely seen both sides. We're suffering from a business standpoint because 80% of my practice is shut down, but we're also sort of frontline people in that we're treating and seeing COVID patients or potential COVID patients, even though we haven't had any, and continuing to treat our, ongoing primary care patients. They have diabetes, they have hypertension. I mean, these things don't stop just because we're in a pandemic. It has definitely pushed us to be more efficient with our telemedicine, and we definitely incorporated that much more. I would say that's a big growth for us, is beefing up our ability to communicate with patients electronically instead of having to see. And we are able to manage some things, not everything, but most things for the short run. While we're all in this pandemic, we are able to do a lot of telehealth, telemedicine, that maybe it was just too easy to bring the patient in prior to this, but now I think it's going to become more of a routine part of our practice, even when the pandemic is over.
Right. That was, you pretty much answered my next question, because I was going to ask you about whether or not you were an essential business, and it seems like you are and you're not. You have the one aspect that is essential and the other is not.
Correct.
So what are some of the unique challenges that you're having to overcome during these times?
I would say as a small business owner, obviously the economics is a huge challenge. I mean, there's no one out there that owns a small business that's not feeling the pain from this. Even if your
Absolutely.
business is essential and you're open, your customers may be employed in non-essential businesses. So they may not have money or cash flow right now to be able to buy your service, even if you are essential. So if it doesn't affect you directly as a business because you're essential, it will eventually affect you one way or the other. So, luckily we have been approved. I don't know, I guess I can say this for the Small Business Loan CARES Act, this PPP
Mm-hmm.
program. We were notified Monday that we have actually been approved for that program. I know there's a lot of people out there that are having difficulty getting the money. They're being told it's full. It's already spent all the money that it was allotted.
Oh
But we
boy.
did get in. So thank you to our banker for helping us with that. And we hope because of that, it's going to give us some leeway in our main goal is to keep our employees employed.
That was going to be a
So
question I was going to ask you is how are your
the
employees
purpose of the
faring?
Pardon?
I'm sorry.
Cut out a little bit.
That was going to kind of lead into a question of mine in terms of how are
Okay, we're
your
back.
employees faring? How
Okay.
are they dealing? How's that working for you in terms of your employees?
Even though the clinic, some people are still working. My nurse practitioner is downstairs working. The person who assists her is working. I have someone up here answering the phones every day. So and they're rotating. So we
Okay.
do have employees working. My office manager is obviously working from home, and she's been working here. And so the ones that are home, mostly it's childcare related. It's the daycares are closed or kids aren't in
Right.
school. So we're working with those employees. But the main thing is we're trying to keep everybody employed, which is our ultimate goal. And we're doing some Zooms. We actually had a Zoom call earlier this morning, a training from Revision Skincare. Their rep was on with us, and we had all 8 of us, or there's a few that couldn't get on this morning, but the majority of my staff was on a Zoom. So little old clinic here. We're not
Mm-hmm.
corporate America. We're not government contractors. We're now doing Zooms. And
I
if you
know
had
it's new
told
to
me
me.
2 months ago that I'd be doing a Zoom training with a rep from one of our skincare lines, I'd be like,
Why?
So, but yeah, so we're adapting. We're
Right.
getting into the 21st century here. This clinic, clinics, we're hands-on. We're service providers. We can't work from home, but here we are. I had half my staff on this morning on a Zoom call so we could do a training for a new skincare line that we just brought on. So we're adapting. The other thing is interesting. We every fall and spring, twice a year, we have a huge spring or fall open house, and we do our big sale, and we give specials that we only offer during those 2 times a year. This year we
Mm-hmm.
did it virtual. So a lot of planning, a lot of busy work went on behind the scenes to get that to all work. So huge shout out to my office staff, especially Terry Beth, my office manager, for coordinating all that. I don't know how many live videos that day, which I normally don't like doing. So got me over some of my stage fright to do live videos.
Right.
But we did, it worked very well. We had, people calling in. We actually gave away our door prizes that we normally do virtually. So trying to find ways, and so I would recommend to other business owners, try to find ways to innovate, to stay relevant. The main thing is people want to hear from you. They want to know
I
you're
do.
still there. They want to know you're still learning. You're still having training with your reps. You're still, your employees are still engaged. So I think that's the biggest thing, is to stay a face for your business. Try to stay, obviously that means social media at this point, and keep growing, keep innovating, keep thinking of ways. In my field, it's telemedicine, the virtual open house, to carry on. I mean, we can't just lay down and die, I guess, in a business sense.
Right. That's true. What could your customers do for you to support you during the crisis?
Well, I would just a huge thank you for the outpouring of support for the virtual open house. That was huge for us. It was allowed us to make, sales that we can honor when we reopen. So we expect to be very busy. And to pay my patients back for that, for supporting us and calling in and prepaying for their Botox and their filler. We're going to have some extended hours. We're going to work very hard to make sure everyone can get in so they can get that Botox and they can get those fillers and laser treatments that they bought during the virtual open house. So we're going to see when we reopen what the demand is and how fast this ramps back up. But if needed, we're going to have some extended evening hours, maybe a Saturday. We're going to play that by ear, but we're going to work very, very hard as a thank you to our patients to get everyone in as timely and quickly, because we know there's a huge pent-up demand right now for us service providers like hair people, nail people. Obviously, people really want to get back in here. They want their services. They want their Botox. They want their fillers. So we're going to get everyone treated as quickly as we can. But I just, huge thank you. My patients, the inbox messages that we've received, the comments when we were running the virtual open house have just been overwhelmingly positive and supportive. We are doing curbside pickup for products. I do have someone here answering the phone every day. If you need something, we
Right.
can run it down to your car. So a lot of
That's
people are doing
great.
curbside. We're offering that as well. So just continue to buy local. Try not to buy your skincare
Absolutely.
products. Thank you to our patients, friends, for your support.
That's great. That's great. I wanted to thank you too for your time today, Hayley, and allowing me to interview you and for you answering my questions. Before I let you go, I wanted to, would you let everybody know how they can get in touch with you, how they can reach you? Is there, can they do that by calling you or going through Facebook?
Right. So our main office number is 256-882-6555. We do have a direct line to call the primary care clinic, what we call the downstairs clinic. If you need to
Okay.
speak with Carrie, if we are accepting new patients. If
Oh,
you're
good.
looking for a primary care home, you're not happy with your primary care doctor, or maybe they retired, or maybe whatever it is, you just moved here, whatever the situation is, we are accepting new patients. The direct number for that clinic is 256-382-0464. And obviously we have a huge social media presence, very proud of how much engagement we have on Facebook. It's
Right.
Advanced Life Clinic on Facebook. We
Okay.
do answer our message. I'm very active on that, and my office manager is very active on that. We answer questions on there multiple times a day, every day. We're on Instagram. I have a sweet little girl that helps me with our Instagrams. She's younger than me. She gets Instagram a little more than I do. So we're on Instagram at Advanced Life Clinic. Thank you, John. And so we're phone. What else is there? Email, info at Advanced Life Clinic. And then our website, www.advancedlifeclinic.com. So those are all the ways I can think of.
Well, thank you so much, Hayley.
Reach us.
I really do appreciate your time today.
You're welcome.